Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mental Conditioning Gym online membership. This is the very first time we're doing this. It's a very exciting and a very new step that we're doing in the mental conditioning movement. We explained a lot about that, and we are actually here now to be able to get this process started. I'm very excited. As I told you guys in the weeks coming up to this is the most special place to be able to start this off. There's no better place than to start this off, and we are in no better place than Muhammad Ali's Fighters Heaven, Muhammad Ali's training camp. You know, we've done a lot of work up here previously, and this is just really home for the mental conditioning movement. This is really a special place for me. Each and every time that I come up here, it feels like the first time. It's just so amazing, the smell of the place, the ambiance of the place, just to walk in here and see the training. And again, just know that this is the original camp. This is the place that we see Muhammad Ali prepare for his fights time and time again. So what are we doing here in the Mental Conditioning Gym online membership? We're now going to be able to expand this, to be able to train even harder, to be able to spar even harder. It's always been my dream to really fill the Mental Conditioning Gym itself in New York with as many mental fighters as I can. But now I say, you know what? This is a better way to expand the movement to where we can do this online, and we can train online, and we can spar online. We can really get the work in that we need to get in. And now it gives me the opportunity also to take my time and say, you know what? Let's take each thing step by step by step by step. This is the very first step. And so we have to get it right. This is the foundational pieces that we're going to have to really endure for us to be able to get our mindset to the point to where we have championship mindset. We have championship mentality. But this is the part to where, for lack of a better term, and with all transparency, this is the part that's kind of boring, because we're going to be building on the foundation. We're going to have so many levels and branches of things that we're going to go through specifically, which we haven't been able to do that. That's why I'm excited about it. Whether it's straight into boxing, whether it's straight into marriage, whether it's straight into parenting, whether it's straight into bowling, all different aspects, we're going to be able to take our time and go through those things. And those are going to be fun. Those are going to be a little bit more exciting. Those rounds of sparring. But at the same time, right now, before we actually get to some big time sparring, we're going to do a little bit of that in this foundational piece. But one of the biggest things is balance. You know, in any sport, in bowling, in basketball, in boxing, people always say, what's the first thing that you have to learn? You can't just go in there and start throwing punches. You have to first learn your good stance and have a good balance, so you don't just get pushed off of your axis. You get pushed off of what you're doing. Bowling is the same way. You have to know how to stand to be able to deliver your shots down the lane. So that's what we're going to be doing here. And we have to start from the bottom in order to get to the top. And we're going to cover everything in between. But a lot of that has to do with, again, the foundational piece. So that's what we're going to be doing, a lot of that. This part, you must watch in order. This, if you're watching this right now first, you're on the right track. You need to watch this first, because this is the order that we need to follow in order for us to be able to get to the more, action-packed things, the more fun things. A heavy bag in here. People like to get on a heavy bag and do that work immediately. But guess what? It takes time before we can get over here. You got to learn how to get in the right stance before you can start dancing around and pop your jabs on here. You got to learn how to stand first. So you're standing like this, throwing punches, no good. So you have to learn how to bounce. You got to learn how to move, boom, before you throw your shots. So this is the part to where we're just standing in front of the bag, watching it first, and learning how to move properly around it before we can start throwing our shots. That's the foundation. So what's the biggest foundation here? We're working them on mental conditioning our minds. What exactly is mental conditioning? And why do we need it? Why is it such an important thing? As I said, it's the foundation. It's the preparedness. This is the part that's preparing us to get into the ring. So we want to take this thing again, nice and slow. And we want to first piggyback off of that word about being prepared. Each and every day, I love boxing because those analogies of life is so profound. When we wake up in the morning with our alarm clocks. In the sport of boxing, there is an alarm clock that we hear. And that signifies the beginning of the fight. But in our lives, that alarm clock signifies the beginning of the day. So I want you to kind of hear that each and every time that you wake up in the morning. I want you to hear that bell going off. Let me hear that bell again. I want you to hear that. That's your alarm clock. And you got to know that when you hear that bell, it's time to get ready to go in life. That's part of mindset training. That's what mental conditioning is preparing us for that day. You have to train in the gym. I showed you hitting the heavy bag. That's the preparation to be able to get into the ring. Now, this is clearly a boxing ring. One of the exercises that we do, we have training camps up here. We've had the men up here for some very, very, very powerful mindset training camps. And we do a few exercises. As you're going to see throughout the foundational part, you're going to see some of the areas that we utilize, and actually you're going to see them all. And we're going to go into all of them as we use the foundational pieces. That's what I'm going to use to kind of pick it up and spruce it up a little bit. Because as I said, and it is what it is. You have to, that's first self-evaluation right there, is to be able to say, you know what, this part is not the most exciting part, but this is the part that has to be done. So that's why I said, you know what, this is the best place to do it, because just this scenery, I know I'm excited about it. So hopefully you guys get a little bit more excitement just being able to do it here. We're going to have some nice demonstrations for you. But one of the exercises that we do is we enter this boxing ring. For most people, for the average person, we go through life and not actually enter an actual boxing ring. So that's one of the exercises that I do with the guys when they come up here. They have an opportunity to get into the ring. And sometimes these guys have never gotten to a boxing ring before. And as I'm training mentally, I'm watching everything. I'm equipped to watch everything. My career, just retired from the NYPD, 20 years, is giving me even more of a keen eye to I'm watching everybody in the room. Things that most of the average person doesn't see, I do see that because of my keen third eye as being a detective in the New York City Police Department. So I'm watching them as they get into the ring. And I'm watching their mindset just with their eyes, that they are understanding the preparedness. Mentally, they get into this ring, and sometimes we actually, and I don't plan it that way, but I have them get in the ring, but I notice that's where we end up doing most of our mental sparring. We stay right in there because mentally they're prepared. So I'm going to show you guys that. I'm going to show you what it's like to signify in the morning. Again, when you hear that bell go off, that's the start of the day. That's time to get up and get into the ring of life. So let me do that for you. And then there's another thing that's going to happen each and every day. When you get into the ring of life, there's an opponent, just like in a boxing match. And you got to start being prepared for that moment. And you have to look at it that way. That's mental conditioning. That's mental wellness. That's mental preparedness, to be able to look at it that way. When you wake up and you get into that ring, if you don't see an opponent across the ring from you, something is wrong. You're not ready to go. That's part of mental conditioning and why we need it, because we have to be prepared to do battle with that person that's across the ring from us. We have to be prepared to step through these ropes. I'm going to do that right now. And hopefully I have an opponent, because if I have an opponent, then I can go on and I know I'm ready to go. But we do need to take some steps. But first things first, let's hear that bell again, because it's time to be able to set up and get into the ring. So you sleeping, I'm asleep. Go time, baby. That feeling. That feeling. Going to my corner. That feeling. That feeling. I feel ready. I feel ready. Yeah, I'm ready. This is exactly what I want to do. That's exactly how you have to feel in the morning. This is what I want to do. It's go time. How do we get ready for the day? There's something